Hello friends and blessings to you. We're going to be going over the compare command in this video. If you want to go directly to the compare command, then just go right to the timestamp here. Or you can stick around with us, and leading up to the compare command, you'll learn a whole lot more than just the compare command. So let's pretend. Let's put on our pretending caps, our thinking caps here. That you are a cybersecurity engineer at a financial institution that's been breached, and you suspect that a critical configuration file has been tampered with on a production server. And maybe there's some malicious code in it. So you've got a backup file, and you want to compare the two, right? Do you want to compare the two yourself? Do you want to sift through all that data only to find that they are exactly the same? Even the hidden data? No, you can get the computer to do that. You can use the SHA256 hashing algorithm to create a hash for the current file and the backup file. And then if that hash is different, you can tell if it's been tampered with, if the backup file and the server file are supposed to be the same. So here's our task report. This is the task report that I've got written up, and we're going to take this step by step. In this task, in creating hash values in Linux, we identify two files, their hash values, and then compare if they're the same. And you know what, my friends? Hot wings. That's right, hot wings might be involved, so make sure you have a plate of hot wings ready for when you have completed this task, to congratulate yourself for a job well done. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we're in the working directory that has both of the files that we're going to be comparing and hashing in it. Here's the command semantics. If you want to pause, take a look at these command semantics now, because we are moving over into our CLI. So first we're going to use the ls command. That's going to give us the contents of our working directory, which in this case is called making hash values. Let me open up, zoom in here so that you can see what's going on. There we go. So we can see that we've got file 1.txt and file 2.txt, and we want to compare these two files. But first, let's just take a look at it. So we'll concatenate file 1.txt and we'll concatenate file 2.txt. There is a difference in these. Normally, in a situation like this, it would be a hidden difference, but this one is not hidden at all. They are the same except for the last two characters in the string. I'm going to clear my CLI so that you can see what's going on here, and we're going to move on to the next step. Step one was to make sure that we are in the right working directory, and step two is going to be to create those hash values. So we find that the contents of the files, they appear to be the same. Let's pretend like they did appear to be the same, but we need to be sure that the files do not have hidden code that is actually different. If the code is different in even one line, the hash will be different, potentially revealing one of the files to have malicious code. So how would we do this? Well, the easy way would be to just straight up print out the hash value right onto our CLI. So the way that we can do that is right here. Here's our command semantics. If you want to take a look at that, we are now moving over to our CLI, and it is SHA256SUM is our command, and then the file. We'll do file 1.txt, and then we'll do the same, SHA256SUM for file 2.txt. And there we've got our hash values, and we can see right here that the hash values are different. Here's another way to do this by creating two files with the hash value in them and then comparing the two files. So now we can write the hash to a hash file, then review the hash file with the compare command. So while in this lab we can easily see the differences in the following step, we will use the compare command to show we can use the command to find the differences. I did this lab almost a year ago at this point, while I was in the Cybersecurity Plus course made by Google, found on Coursera.com. and it is an excellent course. Whether you're new or not, it has pretty much all the foundational information that you need, from SQL to command line interface to the foundational concepts in cybersecurity engineering, such as the CIA triad, so on and so forth. I suggest checking it out. I am in no way, shape, or form sponsored by them, but the reason we're not going through this lab, just the task report, not the lab itself, is because it's probably a copyright issue to go through the lab. So let's get started with task 3. So here are the command semantics, and now we're jumping into our CLI. So just like the last commands, SHA256SUM, file1.txt, but then we put a space and 2 bent brackets, and then we enter in the name that we want the file to be that the hash goes into. So let's do it again for file 2, SHA256SUM, file2.txt, our bent brackets, and then file 2 hash. File 2 hash. There we go, right? So now we want to use the ls command to make sure that, and sure enough, we do have those files. We've got file1.txt and its hash, file2.txt and its hash. So here we are now at the compare command. Now we use the compare command to compare the hashes of the 2 files. Here's our command semantics. Pretty simple, CMP space and then your files. Let's do that now. So CMP is our command, and then we put in the file hash for file hash. We put in file 1's hash and file 2's hash files, and we compare. And it tells us that we have a difference. File 1 hash, file 2 hash, they differ. Byte 1, line 1. So, there you have it. That is the compare command. Hashing files and saving those hashes to actual files to compare. In this lab, we produced a scenario, much like what we might find as a cybersecurity engineer, but we might work through on the job. We compare 2 seemingly identical files only to find that the underlying code is not actually identical. You know, this would lead to further investigation from the cybersecurity team to find whether or not the difference in code is the result of malicious code, which might harm our company assets, right? By finding this difference, we are engaging in security posture hardening activities for our organizations instead of engaging in being asleep at the wheel kind of activities. First, we found the text files, then we read the text files. Then we hashed the text files into new files, and then we compared the hashes of the 2 files for potential differences. And now it's time to enjoy, or maybe consider, the next time one might enjoy hot wings. Aren't hot wings so worth it? I don't know if you guys love hot wings, but I sure love hot wings. So, my friends, hack with love, not with hate. And if you are on the blue team, if you are on the blue side of things, keep your finger on the pulse of your organization and pay attention to what's going on. So many people in this generation, we preach about how we want to make a difference, and making a difference is sometimes a series of mundane tasks done correctly, with love in your heart, making a difference, keeping the people safe in your environment. Create a salubrious environment. Act with love, not with hate, and keep your finger on the pulse of your organization. That will bring value. Thanks for watching. God bless the work of your hands.